issue anyway.
Hello, Saikat. Saikat is also here. Rajiv.
Hi,
Hello.
Sarikat. Copy link, and you
Okay.
know the link and view. Okay. Sorry for using Google Docs, but this is what I had to go with right now. Okay, guys. So Naveen asked me to present a talk today on some work that I've been doing on OSRM, and it's not just me. There's others as well. So Shrihari Thala in particular. So we started up one kind of GitHub like repo and all to kind of promote the way of using OSRM as a routing engine. It's a software that does on-road routing as what you can see in the map. I mean, in the screenshot over here. So in the screenshot, you can see from one place to another, it is giving you the on-road direction. And this is completely from OpenStreetMap data using open source technology. There has been no paid mapping services like Google or Here Maps or TomTom or anything used in this. So basically, I just want to show you that how you can kind of roll your own routing engine, on-road routing, directions, and a whole host of different services. And the tool of my choice currently is OSRM, although there are many other tools also. So I'll just start walking you guys through that. And my agenda for today is that I'll share a bit about this, but we'll also have a live preview of one OSRM instance. Like we'll try to run it and then actually execute something using it. So to begin with, OSRM, not to be confused with OSM, is short for Open Source Routing Machine. It's not the open source routing machine. It is just a open source routing machine. Like it's a software, and there are several such softwares actually. And I've included links all over this presentation. So one is this wiki. OpenStreetMap wiki is an amazing resource for having a lot of links regarding these things. And this link in particular has a huge list of routing softwares. So I had gone through this. I had tried a couple of things. OSRM was what worked for me, so I went ahead and kept using it. But there are other projects also. So OSRM is originally coded in C++, and in Linux it compiles really nicely. I mean, it's fast, and I work on Linux, so it's worked well for me. I've just shared their official website and the GitHub repo, which is the main backend for them, and the API doc URL. So those of you who are also clicking along and opening the presentation can click these and check it out for themselves as well. So a very quick this brief thing of the features that this covers, and there is actually a link over here, so I'll actually demonstrate that. By the way, do feel free to ask me a question in the middle, but it'll be better if we hold till the end for most. So this is a demo page that I have set up, and it's a very basic JavaScript thing. You can right click and view source and see the entire source code of this. It's on GitHub only. And what it does is there is a JSON file I've kept on this repo, which is having various different OSRM instances for different regions. So I'm hosting a Maharashtra one. Shrihari Thala is hosting an India one. I also created a new Delhi one, and then we can keep creating for as many things. I had shared this out on the international mailing list, and some guy from Switzerland shared his OSRM in Switzerland. So so that way my idea is that maybe this page can become like a collection of different OSRM instances for demonstration purposes. And I'm trying my best to credit the people who make it and are maintaining it and all. So I'll just give a very quick demo, start here, end here, and voila. It queried the server at the backend, fetched the results, and rendered the results over here. The API result is down over here. And by the way, in this talk, there's going to be some slightly more technical sharing. But it's okay. Even I am more focused on driving the car rather than understanding how the carburetor and engine works. So here you can just go and maybe we can go in that mode that you don't need to know exactly how it works. You need to know more of how to make it work for you. So whatever results you're seeing on this map over here is actually in the form of a big JSON response. There's an encoded polyline format, some string over here, which actually translates into geo polyline over here. And there's some good libraries for doing that. There's other information also that comes in, like durations, if there's legs, steps, and stuff like that. This page is a very basic one. OSRM also has its own front end, which we can see later. Um, but yeah, I'll just come back to that. So what I'm demonstrating here is just the first part, which is the on-road routing. Like you give a starting and you give a destination, and it fetches the on-road route for you. And it's using OpenStreetMap data. It is not using any paid software. It's not dependent on any licensed, paid or proprietary thing. It is all completely open source material that is being used over here. The data is then like, you can get a free copy of it and you can own it at your own end, hosted on your own server. So there is literally, it's a completely self-hosted solution over here that we're showing. So first thing is on-road routing. You can put as many waypoints as you want. So if you have like from A to B, but there's like 100 mid stops in middle, you can go ahead and feed those and it'll work. Then there's distance matrix, which is pretty cool because supposing you want to feed an array of distances between say 40 origins and destination pairs. So a distance matrix is a way to like very quickly query it, and it'll just find out the distance between each and every place. I just heard a beep. Okay, everything is fine. Okay. Let me know if something is not fine to the organizers. Okay. So the distance matrix, yeah, does that job. Then it does map matching, which is like if you have a GPS trace, which is like an ant squiggling on the screen, like your GPS trace is very wavering and stuff, then you can use map matching to align it to the road, like to snap it to the given road and to make a smoother GPS trace out of it. Then trip optimization is another API call, which if supposing you say give, and all of this is, by the way, these are all drop-in replacements for what is popularly available on Google Maps API. So all of these were on Google Maps API. Now you can get this from OSRM and for free and without any limits. So trip optimization is also like a very simplified version of this whole optimization thing, where if you have say 40 destinations to go to, you feed it into this, it will give you the sequence in which you should go so that you have the most optimal trip possible. But that it's a very simple way, just like start to end thing. It doesn't take care of other things like the traveling salesman problem, capacity windows, and stuff like that. There's other good open source tools for that, by the way. We can maybe discuss more on that later. Then this is a use case I see for OpenStreetMap editors, that it does a good job of debugging road networks. And I'd like to actually show you that from the API screen. So I'll just quickly click on this and follow through. So what it does is it generates its own map tiles, and it's in a vector format. So I have not been able to like create my own map of this, but I'll show you a demonstration map. Basically, yeah, the guys who created the whole project have, I think, set this up. Wherein so that this routing engine then generates this entire road network analysis for you, by which you can then find out which roads have which kind of speed levels, speed ratings, and using this you can analyze your focus areas road network and find out where the problems are, where some access is restricted or things like that. So this place is somewhere out there. I'm gonna try to bring it to somewhere in India. I'm forgetting the lat longs of our places in India. 77, 75. Where does this take us? Okay, I'm lost on the map. I think I went into the ocean or something. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, this was long and then lat, so I went next to Sweden by mistake. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go to my hometown in Pune. Sorry, I seem to be spending too much time on this, and I should quickly snap out of this one. But let's follow through. Right. So then there's all these annotations and all that come up over here, like something. Okay, it's there in the API. It tells you what it's doing and stuff. So I won't go much into that. I haven't actually explored this feature out so much yet. But yeah, and yeah, so the API document is up and available for everyone to go through. And there is a quick watch out over here. The longitude comes first and the latitude comes later. Like even I just found that out in the demo that I was doing. We have to flip it around. Like we might be more used to putting latitude first, longitude later. But yeah, and this is the other way around. It seems to be like the core GIS folks prefer to have the longitude first and latitude later because it's more matching with the geometrical thing of X and Y. So if you see a map in the form of X and Y, longitude is like X axis and latitude is Y axis. So that's why that whole thing. Okay, then benefits of open source, like why shouldn't I use just Google Maps API or some other such paid service? One thing is they might give a better quality if our area's road quality is not so good in OpenStreetMap. Fine, that's granted, but there are some benefits over here. And just a very quick question: what do all the strict licensing terms of paid mapping services like Google forbid you from doing? All of that you can do here. So this is completely your data. So when I made this query, all the data that I got here, I am completely free to do whatever I want with it. I can save it in a database. I can archive it. I can even do it such that, if the app that I'm making, if I want to archive queries and run them, fetch them from database and serve them to my customers quicker, I can do that. I don't need to run the whole actual routing algorithm query all over again every time. I can just archive things and then reuse the same data later, which was something which is like kind of forbidden in the licensing terms of other paid services. You're not allowed to. They say that you can show it on the screen to your users, but you can't like archive it and then use them later. But here we can. There's no worries about limits. The distance matrix and the trip optimization APIs are two cases in point where in other services you usually have a limit to how many items you can feed into this. But in this, there is literally no limit. Like if you can run it on a server that is fast enough, you can do whatever you want with this. You could, if you want a distance matrix of say 2,000 different data points, you can do it. Fine, just go ahead and do it. Nobody's stopping you. Then you can build up and combine your spatial data. Basically, do everything that you like. The sum of the parts is greater than the the product that you make is what's the thing is greater than the sum of the parts or something like that. And then scale horizontally. So this is what I'm particularly interested in, is that the reason why we call our repo as OSRM decentralized is because rather than trying to load the entire planet's data and have a really slow server, you could just prioritize certain regions. So if you're suppose a company that's doing some service, I mean, you're doing a product in a particular city, you can load up just that city into OSRM and your thing will like be fast. It'll be really fast. Because you just have a very low amount of memory footprint, because you have very low data that to work with, and you can just deliver really fast on that. That way, and then if your business operation expands to another city, you can just add the other city. Fine. So this it's really good in that way that you can decentralize and scale horizontally. So yeah, so we thought basically the thought was, how about if we Dockerize this and make it easy for folks to spin up their own instances? And that's where OSRM decentralized was kind of birthed. So I'll just show very quickly the demo page. It's a very simple, that GitHub page is whatever default theme was there. I have no idea what else to do here. I've just written up some text for introducing and guiding what to do and stuff. There are some repos that we have created in this kind of GitHub organization. So I'll just show that. Quickly checking in, everything is fine here. Yeah, okay. Just a quick question. Are you able to see my video while I'm sharing the screen?
Because we can see you. Yeah.
Okay, great. Then I can do some dramatization when I'm showing something. Great. Right. So yeah. So OSRM decentralized is like a collection of Docker images. This OSRM in Docker is Shriyari's baby. It's the all India version, and he's doing all the compilation and everything for you, so that you can literally just if you have a RAM that is big enough to handle the whole India this OSRM instance, I would say 16 GB is, I think, is sufficient. You can just take this and just deploy it, and it just works off the shelf for an all India instance. So that is like kudos to Shriyari Dalla. He's done some really good work in making this and making sure all those files and all are available. I will focus. Yeah. Anybody saying something? Okay. I'll focus more on the other things. There is a custom PBF thing, which is like for a custom area whose OSM data is available. Then I've created another, and these are all, by the way, these are Docker recipes. So there is maybe one or two script files in them, and then there's a Docker file. And you just have to get the repo and then just Docker build and then Docker compose, just put 2 commands and then you're done. It's like it's up and running. So I'll demo one of them in this talk.
Nikhil can't hear you.
Yeah. Can anybody else hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, so whoever can't hear me needs to see things on their end. Okay, fine. Yeah, so then there's shapes to. I'll try to come closer to the screen though. I'll make sure. Yeah, okay, you can see me. Yeah. Then there's a shapes to poly. It's a very
Chetan, can you hear Nikhil?
Yes,
yeah, and I can also hear you.
Yeah. Something wrong, I guess. Maybe Arjun is also typing. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine, it seems. Maybe,
okay,
yeah, do check from your end, Saikat.
Yeah, just yeah, I think that's Saikat. You can just step out and join in again. It should work. By the way, who has got his microphone on? Can you mute yours? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and then there's a shapes to poly this converter, which gets used in this OSRM custom poly, but I think we can go into that later. But yeah, let me just let's do a live example. So now I have a very quick question to the audience. Which region OSRM do you want to spin up from this list? It's all the states of India and all the union territories of India. So just give me a suggestion. Which place do you come from? Do you want to see something up? Let me see. Okay. I'm just going to wait for an audio cue. Maybe the organizer can tell me by reading the messages. I can't see the messages.
Okay.
Any takers? Maharashtra is already up, so Maharashtra not allowed, sorry. Even Delhi is already up, so Delhi not allowed. Something new.
Kerala.
Kerala. Okay, let's take Kerala. So I'm just going to copy this link. Let me just save it up over here. Oops. Hey, I did not do that. What did I just do? It by mistake triggered something in this tool which I didn't know it could exist before. Okay. Right. Okay, now this is not the right thing. Okay, so let's take Kerala. So I'm just taking this link over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the the OSRM custom PPF repo. I'm basically just following some of the steps I've outlined over here, but it's pretty much already done. So we can just git clone this repo, and I already have, of course, I have a local version here which I uploaded it from. So it's right here, custom PPF. Yeah. And I have the repo loaded up here. I'm gonna see the README of this. Sorry, in GitHub you can see the README. There's some instructions to do. So first of all, make a data folder which is already there. So we already have a data folder. That we're good. We're good on. Next thing is build. Okay, you can do the build thing first actually. So okay, I'm just gonna copy paste this command. Get into this repo. Sorry, cd PDF. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna build up the Docker image. I'm hoping it's there in the cache, so that it happens quickly. But let's go through the next steps. Then running it with the default settings is this, but if you want to customize it, let's actually customize it. So there's there's one command that's split into multiple lines, but it's actually just one command. Each line is for a different thing. I've given in the README the explanation for each line that's there. I'm going to make one change over here. This PBF URL, I'm going to replace with OSRM Kerala's URL. I mean, with the Kerala PBF URL. So just going to replace that. Right. And I think everything is okay. So I'm going to mount my data folder as the persistent volume. I'm also going to mount this profiles folder as another persistent volume, and I'll come to this later. Then I'm going to use the Kerala PBF. So I'm going to download it from this URL link and use it, and that's how I'm going to run. So is this thing built? Oh no, it's downloading. Download newer image. They've updated something there. Oh man, which means we have waiting to do. Which means I can actually go into explaining the profiles folder while we're doing that. So okay, I'll just go through this. So in the profiles folder, the way the OSRM tool reads OpenStreetMap is through these Lua files, .lua. So I personally did not know anything about .lua before I checked this out. Apparently, it's a programming language that's used a lot in some data science circles, especially in universities. It seems like academically, people seem to be interested in it. So I'm really ignorant about Lua. If there's somebody in the audience who knows more, you can maybe correct me. But basically, I understood it. I mean, I at least understood what it's doing over here. Let me see if I can try to zoom in the screen a little bit to make sure you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, so this Lua file dictates the way OSRM is going to read OpenStreetMap data. So there's a max speed setting, there is a weight name that you can do it by routability or by duration or by distance. There are various settings like all sorts of things. The one thing that I have modified for India, which is why I'm calling this car-modified.lua, is because I changed the left-hand driving from false to true. So I activated the left-hand side driving. Otherwise, by default, because it's made in from other countries, it has the right-hand side driving by default. And then, all our road networks go haywire because it starts taking free right turns here and there and stuff. So instead, left-hand driving too, that is important to set for Indian roads. Then there's other things. There's default speed. This is in meters per second, by the way. I think all these values are in SI notation. So like all meters per second and stuff. There's many different settings. I have tried to play around a bit. Things change here and there. I have not been able to figure out fully yet. So you can do your experimentations here, especially in these cases, vehicle height and length. This is used where, say, in OpenStreetMap, the road width is like really narrow, or like the lanes are very narrow, or there is a restriction on how wide or how tall your vehicle is. You can change it, supposing if you're just doing it for two-wheeler bikes. So you can change these values. You can modify all of this so that you can have routing for your two-wheeler bikes or for your bicycles, which you couldn't have in cars. There's also separate profiles for other things like on foot traveling and many other things. I mean, bicycle and car. I have not really explored those. I've just like very briefly just explored these things. I don't know why the suffix is there. Then there's these barriers and whitelists and stuff like that, where if it's a gate, you can, because it's in the whitelist, you can still go through the gate, but you might want to exclude certain tags. All of these refer to tags in the OpenStreetMap data. So barrier, gate, barrier, no, barrier, this, that. Then there's a blacklist, so access tag. So if the access is for customers or the access is set to private, then your routing won't be able to do it. But so therefore you can just keep playing around with these. So there's a whole lot of things, and there's speeds. All these kind of for different highway tags, what are the default speeds to be taken? And I'm not sure what unit this is in right now. We'll have to see. Then there's a restricted, all that stuff. Under construction, very concrete surface speeds. This is really cool. I think this is percentage. Or no, I'm not sure. Max speed. Okay, max speed limits. Yeah. So if your road has a surface made of a certain material, then you can customize it. So you can tell this is probably made by some Germans, man. This is very precise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the joke, but yeah, it's really precise. And this whole stuff has come out from Europe mostly. Okay, my building is done. Good, thank God. I'll just jump into that. But yeah, all the stuff, and then there's also logics over here. I haven't really explored this, but I do want to see if we can build some. Maybe there's some more logic that can come. Like if this is open and that is closed, then you can go here. Or this time of day you can go. There are some time of day restrictions that I want to work with. I don't know right now how to put it here, but I know some places which the road is only open from this time to that time in the day. The rest of the time it's closed. How do you do that? Yeah, and so there's this profile file is like part programming, part data that way. But anyways, let's jump to the running thing. We have, I'm sure whoever suggested for Kerala is like breathlessly waiting for us to run this. So I'm running in with the RMIT flag, which means it's going to be in my terminal. It's not going to be a backend process. So we'll be able to see everything that happens on the screen. So what it's doing right now is it is loading up the Docker file, and it is doing this whole, it is downloading the Kerala PPF from the website, from the link that we had. And it's fetching that, then it's going to process it. I'll just show what the launch file is. So there is a basic shell script that I've made that does all this job. It basically like does 3-4 things that otherwise you would be copy pasting lines and doing. It just does them all in a sequence. So it fetches it kind of fetches the file from the server in case the file is old. I mean, in case the file has not refreshed on the server and you already have a fresh version. Won't fetch from the server. So it does some kind of extract things. Okay, my computer might load. I'm not able. So okay, and then it does an extraction, it partitioning, customize. So there's a graph building process in this.
Nikhil, we are getting lag actually.
The way the
that?
really couldn't understand a lot of it, but basically, like, yeah.
We are losing sometimes. So we have a question here actually.
Right, I might be coming choppy.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Tell the question.
So the question is, can we optimize routes on the basis of time taken for travel? Like show me the route which takes less than 20 minutes, exclude the traffic, something like that. Did you?
Yeah. So there's a potential for doing all of that and it's all in this Lua files and all this related data. Right now, I have been focusing on just trying to get the distance optimization right. And the default speeds that are set in this are all like, European standard level speeds. So like you'll see things like 90 kilometers per hour and all, which is completely unrealistic for our Indian roads. So we really need to work on Indianizing these profiles first of all. And once we do that, then we'll get a more reliable kind of ETA, more reliable time taken things. And yes, you might be looking for something else, and like so there are other tools besides OSRM that do this isochrone feature. So I've seen that in OpenTrip Planner, and there's this Open Route Service software also, where you can then feed in this data that you take a point and then you can say that show me everything that's accessible within 20 minutes from here, and it creates this whole shaded map. I like iso bars type thing, but not actual mountains, but rather a map showing you how much time it will take from this point to go till there and everything. People use that in accessibility analysis and say emergency um, emergency times, how far away is how long will it take for the police to get here, for the ambulance to get here. So that kind of analysis can happen. Yes, totally doable. Maybe some other softwares might be more appropriate for this. OSRM, I don't think I've seen the isochrone feature. I've seen that in OpenTrip Planner, which is very similar. You can, in OpenTrip Planner also, you can just feed in your PBF, custom PBF, and make it run. Okay, so I should have asked for a smaller state, I think, because Kerala is quite well mapped compared to the other Indian states. I think it's even the size of the OSM file is pretty big. So it's generating the graph. It's doing all its business here. Okay, I'll go to the next step. So this is going to get launched on port number 5000, and what I want to do is I want to be able to visualize it on a map. So I'm just going to go there. Where is this? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I have deployed the demo page that we have on my own computer as well. So I can locally, edit some things and run it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add in OSM Kerala on the same lines as OSRM Maharashtra over here. But I'm going to just keep a local host thing. So local host 5000. I'm just keeping that time. Kerala. Center. Hey, what is the latitude longitude for Kerala? Can you just quickly give me just one lat long value, uh, which is more appropriate to Kerala? And I'm just gonna delete this. Can anybody hear me? Yeah. Hello. I'm sorry. On my computer, I think things are starting to crash. I need to close some things.
Yeah, 10 bar 76.
Okay, 10.
Yeah, 10.55. 10.55
Okay,
and 76.13. 76.13. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, I just at the map, come over there. So that's what this is.
I think we didn't get you last at least 10 seconds. I think we didn't get you. It was lag actually, video and audio also.
Yeah, I just need approximate. Okay, I just needed approximate lat longs.
I think you can turn off. You can turn off your video. Maybe you can stream better.
Yeah, it might speed things up. True. I'll just do that. Thank you. Video off. Okay. Hopefully things will be lighter. So my graph is still building. I think it's almost done. By the way, I'm on a relatively slower computer. I think I got about 4 GB RAM or something. If you guys have a faster spec or an Intel processor, it'll probably take much lesser time. I generally run this on my server, on a server like Hetzner or DigitalOcean or something. For today's thing, I just try to run it in localhost, and yeah, I can see that it does take time. Okay, anyways, where am I? I have to go to localhost. Okay, so during this time, any other questions, if they come in, then let me know. While I'm trying to get the demo working.
Sure.
Okay. Right, and wait, let me see the README. Is the port number? Yeah, it's 5000, so that's good. Seriously slow. I think Telegram is also running here. That's why it's taking some. If this is running, it might not tell me that it's running. Yeah, okay, it's still running. It's time. Right. So yeah, one drawback in this stuff is it takes time for processing the graph. Especially like if you take very large areas, it'll take more time. So the best option, like the recommended approach, is to constrain your area down to as small as humanly possible. So if your application is only limited to a city, just take that city, and there are ways to just cut out that city part for yourself, rather than go with the entire India PBF or the entire state's PBF also for that matter. I'll just test if Kerala is loaded. Yeah, Kerala. So we are there. Probably the API call won't work yet until this thing gets processed. But I think we're past the main high memory consumption part. So now it's just going to do the rest. Let me show you where. Okay, I need to actually show the next slide. So to get your OpenStreetMap data, I've attached some links in the next slide. I'll just try to change to that. Dude, if it's on, then don't crash it. Right. So I think it's up. So let me try and run this. No, API call failed. HTTP localhost 50, running and waiting for requests. Name on 5000. This thing take. It might be having a Fox pass. I might have. I have done this. OSRM is working. Maybe it's not going that well. Let me check the URLs. OSRM endpoints. /. I think I forgot to put a /. That's why. Refresh. Oops. Kerala. Start and yes. Okay, guys. Yeah, we have OSRM working, and there's a local instance. We've spun up a Kerala instance, and we can now route around Kerala. And the files that I've kept here, they are not just the state themselves. They are slightly buffered. I'll tell you by how much. GeoJSON.io. It's buffer.geojson. Recover. No, cancel. By the way, this site is really cool for just quickly previewing any shapefile. So I've basically buffered all the states. This is updated actually. Now we'll be having the full Kashmir and Ladakh thing also. This is an older map, but yeah. So Kerala would be, Kerala plus some external parts over here. I've done like some 5,200 kilometers, so that if you're doing road routing, it doesn't just stop directly at the border. Also to get rid of any potential people raising issues like, oh, you didn't put the boundary properly and all that stuff. Like, okay, I've just buffered it, man. Fine. So yeah, you can do this. We can go inside a city itself. Kochi is a very nice place that I went to recently. I'll start here. Yeah, so if you're on an island, it will find a bridge to cross, and then you're there. So that way, this helps because the crow flies distance would have been really small, but over here it found that, okay, it's routing and going this way. So if your application is just doing crow flies distance, you might get very bad results. But thanks to this, we are able to get it quite well. Okay, yeah. So that's instance of OSRM with basically just like two main Docker commands, which is the build command and the run command. And with that, you were able to just deploy OSRM on your own system. This way, the same commands you can just run them on any basic VM server that you can rent and start for DigitalOcean, Hetzner, or Amazon Cloud, something VMs or whatever. Okay. So where can we get our data dumps? So one place is now this is going more into general OSM. Okay. I've kind of done with the OSRM demonstration. I'll just let's spin up one. I've duplicated a slide by mistake. Let's delete that. Yeah, so GeoFabric is a very good website that gives a full continent as well as country extracts. That's where I have been getting my all India, like the OSRM, like OSM data downloads. So you can go into the Asia thing and then download the PBF for India. PBF is a compressed format for the original OSM. The original OSM format is .osm, and that's an XML format. So like it's a text thing. So the PBF greatly compresses it, and it also makes it much faster for reading and writing by programs because it's in a certain binary format. So India PBF is available over here every day, and every day they refresh this data with the latest OSM edits. So the pipeline that I've set up for this particular site where all the states are available is that there's a shell script running, which is downloading things for India, then doing a for loop with the boundaries and just generating all of these by cutting up that India whole big PBF into smaller PBFs and putting them here. That's why the date here, you'll see everything as 10th October. It's generated around 3 a.m. every morning. So that pipeline I've kept so that GeoFabric does India and I'm taking care of the states. So yeah, you're welcome for that. Yeah, so you can get the states of India from this site. Then there's a very good export tool by Hot OSM, the people who have created the humanitarian OpenStreetMaps team for exporting data for a custom area. And you can even, there's some good options there because it's not just for roads. They have even customized it for other people who want something else, like just building boundaries and stuff. But yeah, the road navigation things is also there. So you could download your data from here as well. You can create like your account over there, create a certain, mark a certain area and then keep downloading it again and again. And I think they even refresh sooner than just 24 hours. It's sooner than that. They basically created that export tool for people working on the humanitarian OpenStreetMaps team. So that way. And then there are these command line tools which I've been using. I've been using OSM Convert. Lately, I've also found that Osmosis is another command line tool which seems to have more features. Like I can use different shapefiles to clip as well. So I'm using that now. By the way, my system seems to be working fine now. So I will take a risk and turn on my video again. Yeah, so that I can do some dramatization. Yeah, so there's more to do with this. One very big thing that I really want to work on is the profiles. So I've created a repo inside this OSRM decentralized organization called OSRM Profiles India, where I'm like, it's basically an invitation to everyone that let's jump in and try to edit these profiles. The way in which OSRM is reading our data, let's Indianize it. Let's set all these values to work very well with Indian road conditions. And we'll have to do a lot of trial and error to get it to a kind of a correct place wherein the route is also proper, as well as the time that it says the ETA expected should also be in the realistic range. So this is something that we can kind of get into. If anybody wants to say something, no, nothing there. Okay. Yeah, so there's all sorts of things in the Lua files. There's all sorts of customizations we can do. So I've only kept these Lua files in this repo so that people can do this customization without affecting the rest of the whole thing. And then there's even more. Like this is more of a further exploration thing. There's a nice Node.js application they've created called Text Instructions. I recently learned how to use it. So you can pipeline the output that you get from OSRM into this application, and it will give you turn-by-turn directions, like turn on this road, get onto this road, get onto that road, and take a sharp turn here and stuff like that. So and this repo then is open for translations. So they have hosted their thing on Transifex and some other site where people can volunteer, contribute translations in their own languages. So we can Indianize these instructions. So we can maybe sometime in the future make OSRM's driving directions available in Indian languages. And then maybe make a mobile app version of it that gives you that direction. So basically being able to do what Google is currently doing, but in a completely open source system where everybody can contribute into that thing. So this is one place where I'll say, like, the people who are interested in translation and Indian languages can go here and start contributing there for like making something in your language. Then ETA, live traffic. So there is a feature in OSRM. It doesn't directly, it's not inherently there. Like the data that you get of OSM doesn't have any live traffic as such indicators. There are some tags that can be used, but it gives a foundation. The API call that you make to OSRM, with if you turn on the annotations part, then you can get the entire detailed list of the node, like the ID numbers of the nodes and the ways and etc. that the path is traversing. That output then you can feed into maybe another program that then analyzes that, and according to the node number and the way, like the ID of the way, it can figure out what is, maybe from another source it can fetch what's the live traffic, the current speed, the current optimal speed for that road at this time, and then it can pass it back. So it gives us a foundation. Like it's at least something to begin with. I have not actually gone into the live traffic part of this at all right now, but I know that this is a pretty big demand from a lot of Indian startups, a lot of businesses. They're very much dependent on Google right now, especially for this live traffic thing, in which they need to give a reliable ETA, and generally with everything else that's not very reliable, Google kind of has a monopoly on this. But this kind of arms us with a base by which maybe we can build something that can challenge that monopoly, and maybe we can do something with this. So yeah, there's things, and a whole lot of features yet to explore. There's a whole galaxy of routing tools. I'll just open the wiki page right now. I think we have some time. Yeah, so OSM Wiki is a really good resource, by the way. You can, anything that I need to search regarding all this OpenStreetMap stuff, I just type into the search engine OSM Wiki and then that name. And then I almost always find a good page about it. So people have listed a good deal of software. Yeah. So in Java, there are these tools. In C++, there is our OSRM, and then there's other tools. Ruby, Python, this Java, this people are keeping on making different tools and putting, and a lot of these are available for to start using. So something after OSRM that I want to explore is Open Root Service. And by the way, to whoever asked the question regarding the 20 minutes things, this Open Root Service has that isochron feature. And it seems to be quite promising. I have not gone deeper into that, but I think you'll be able to get something good from there. So yeah, do check that out. There are other things. Open Trip Planner is I've been myself using in my work with along with GTFS data. So transport systems for like kind of bus agencies and metro agencies and stuff. If you can get that into a there's this global standard format called GTFS. If you can get it there, you can feed it into this, and then Open Trip Planner is a more complicated router. It not only does your on-road routing, but it also then mixes it with the GTFS, with the transit. So you can have a multimodal thing that, okay, it'll take you this much time to drive to this bus stop. Then from there, you can take this bus number and go there. Then from there, you can change to another bus number. And at the last end of your journey, you can take this road and you can walk this way and on. So it does all of that for you. But I found that it is so feature rich that it takes quite some time to execute, and like comparatively more memory to run. So which is why I went with OSRM when my need was just routing. Like if your need is just doing very quickly on-road routing, then I would say OSRM is good. If you want to mix it with a whole lot of other features, then OpenTrip Planner is a really good other option. And others I have not really explored that well. So yeah, that's a very quick overview, and that's about it. Yeah. For more, yeah, nitty-gritties, there's some links, Stack Exchange and other things. Yeah, whoever was speaking, you can go ahead.
Yeah. I think we have 5 minutes more, actually 6 minutes more. We have Saikat Maiti also, who is going to talk about local communities.
Okay, cool.
But Nikhil, did you finish like complete like?
Yeah. I think
before that, I have one question for Nikhil.
Sure, go ahead.
Nikhil, what would be the cost? Like you are hosting Maharashtra, right? So if it is DigitalOcean, then how much it will be like per month?
You are mute. You are mute. Nikhil, you are mute.
Sorry, can you guys hear me? It works on the most basic one. I would really recommend Hetzner. Actually, Shriyari Sala suggested this to me. I was suffering with DigitalOcean till then, not suffering it. That's also nice, but this one is cheap, man. Like this one was like so cheap. So basically, in terms of RAM, for the entire Maharashtra, I found that less than 1 GB RAM is required for just a state. And if you go lower than that, it takes you even less. So you can literally just spin up the cheapest thing that you find here. It's at 2 GB RAM. And 2.89 euros translates to something around, like including VAT, it's including the GST, it's about 600 to 700 rupees per month. Actually, no, the 4 GB RAM is something like that. This is cheaper. So I think it's around 500 or something like that. So whatever the conversion is at this present point of time, and add 20% GST to it if you don't have your GSTN or whatever, and you can pay by PayPal, like through your Indian account. You don't need an international credit card and all that jazz. So I would recommend, just if somebody wants to start, spin some just one basic thing up here, and you can do something. Okay, yeah.
Thanks, Nikhil. I'd give a try for West Bengal. Let's see how it works.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think your tutorial is pretty much clean, so I'll follow, and if I stuck anywhere, I'll connect with you.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool.
Any questions?
Wait, let me just, I'll just bring this slide up so you guys can note.
Yeah, where we can find all the resources, actually, Nikhil.
All the what?
The resources regarding all these things that you presented.
I've kept multiple links in each and every slide in this, and I've shared the link to that. It's a Google Doc link in our chat here. I'll share it again. I will also share the PDF version of this slideshow after our talk is over in the OSM India Telegram group. So
that would be great.
Get it there. So I will deposit it there. I'll also just quickly put it in our messages here again. Right. Oh, thanks, Shriyari, for putting that Lua thing. Yeah,
thanks Nikhil, for presenting this. I mean, it was a short notice from our side also. Thanks for preparing slides and presenting.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is, I hope we get. So I have a request. If anybody is able to find out how much money, like if there's a statistical thing anybody has done research on, how much money do Indian startups pay to Google for their map services per year? I'd like to get a figure, because I know from one company they spend like something like $20,000 a year on Google Maps API services. So I'd like to know, like as a full India, what is that figure, and then maybe we can like push for that. Imagine all that money staying in India. Imagine that money getting reinvested in India by our companies. They hire more people rather than sending all that money out somewhere. Why? Because they're no longer dependent on an external third party for this mapping stuff. They can just spin up their own thing. So yeah, just that end message with some dollars.
Yeah. Thanks, Nikhil, for putting that point. Based on my experience, I'll say like first question is coming. Can I get the traffic feed? Like as you already explained, like we can like get from different source and all. So that would be the first question I will get.
Cool. Hey, Arjun, nice to see that you forced 3-4 companies to use OSM. Good. Push for more. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Live traffic is like it can be a very big project. People can take it up together. Maybe we can have different parts working on it. Like some people can take care of collecting the data and, having just like say lat long what your speed was, lat long what your speed of, and maybe that we can feed into this OSRM and then deliver from there. So there could be some really good scope for collaboration in that. Maybe some companies are sitting on a lot of such recorded data and they can start sharing it or something. I don't know. Something can work out. But yeah, anyways, I'm available on this note for companies as well if anybody wants to needs professional help in setting this up or anything like that. Just punching that in. But thank you, Chetan. Thank you, Naveen, for organizing this.
Yeah, thanks, Nikhil. Yeah. Naveen, what shall we do? It's almost 10 now.
Yeah, we can discuss about that because that is on November 21st. So we have to decide somebody has to represent the OSM India community, local community and the OSM chapter working group. So they had asked actually.
Okay, cool. Then, Saikat, do you have like time?
Yeah, I mean, previously I spoke about this with Naveen. Like, yeah, we can, like, I can spend some time on that. So, like, but I told Naveen as well, like, we need support because this working group will take care like all the OSM initiatives, and I think Naveen is talking about the registration part also that time.
No, this is about our first. We need to tell what is our we are interested in or work user group. What is our status in our community? That is what meeting. So slowly we'll progress to the chapter and the working group, means user group. Till that, I think prepare saying means prepare saying how many volunteers are there in our group. That will be the main discussion in the next meeting on the November 21st.
Okay. So Naveen, in that in the meantime, like we don't need to bother about the registration part, right?
No, nothing on that.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, then that is fine.
So we have to see what is the what is the different ways for our organization. Means if we want to have an organization or how we want to stay as like a community, like a user group or a chapter, or whether we have to collaborate with OSGeo chapter, because in Australia means Oceania, both OpenStreetMap and OSGeo is together, and in Germany, I guess. So in it is like Wikipedia and OSM. So most of the places it is like a joint thing, and in the US it is a separate or OpenStreetMap chapter. So we have to find what will be the good for us, and we need to means that we have to do in the they will be asking actually what are the plans for the OSM India community, whether to have a chapter or a user group. So we have to get the as many as the community members and represent that.
Okay, Naveen. Yeah, I think we should we can proceed with that. Naveen, like, do you think like as you told, like user group or a chapter, do you think can you take a poll regarding that? Like what we should go in a first step?
Maybe yeah, we have to discuss in the Telegram group, so we'll know what is the before going to poll. If means what are the difficult chapter, whether we have to like join the what I got a recommendation is it is better to join the OSGeo chapter, because staying as just an OpenStreetMap community, it will be making troubles because of the border issues. So
exactly.
So if it is like a partnership or something like that, you need to talk to OSGeo team, I mean the chapter, whether they are interested.
Okay. Yeah, that we can connect with them. I think Nikhil, if you remember the first meeting with Alan Mustard, also like he was asking for that first register as a chapter, like that, right?
Yeah, means foundation is pushing to as many as chapters now. So they gave permission to US, and Oceania is in process. So they are trying to push more chapters outside Europe.
Yeah. Okay. So
I left the audio by mistake. Sorry, guys. Saikat, yeah, sorry, but I won't be the right person to talk about this. I mean, I have no idea.
Okay. No problem, Nikhil. So Chetan, are you there?
Yes. I think we can take this offline and discuss in the Telegram, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, exactly.
with
Like we can
with
discuss this
yeah,
offline.
in the broader group. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think like if I need to check with that OSGO person. Navin, do you know like some guy personally who is in OSGO like committee?
Yeah, I know the Ravi. Actually, he volunteers as a secretary of OSGO India chapter.
Okay. Fine.
So
I'll
before
check a few contacts. Yeah.
that, we need to check with the community whether we need to form a chapter or not. Whether we have to like continue like a user group for some time, like, whether we have to formalize it as an organization or not. Because if after formalizing it is too much paperwork will be there. So before that, it is better to check with the chap. Means everybody is that whether everybody is interested in forming the organization.
Exactly. So that's why I'm telling, like, we can discuss in the group and we can ask one polls for that. So based on that, we can proceed. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Navin.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chetan, Navin. Like, this is really a nice session. I really happy that I attend.
Yeah, we'll discuss in the next, upcoming virtual map hours. Actually, maybe
Chetan,
yeah. Now,
we'll find some topic also, like some unique topic also on India as well. That we can discuss.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hey everyone, good night.
See you guys in the next. Yeah.
Thanks, Amal. This was great. Good night.
Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.
We'll stop the recording.